what if we're not exhausted because life is too demanding, but simply because we expect ourselves to be exceptional all the time? And what if true greatness doesn't come from being better than others, but from being more fully ourselves? Hello everybody and welcome back to Artist Mindset. I'm your host Martina, and today I want to talk exactly about what I just mentioned, because it's something I've realized, or re-realized, if you can say that. I've read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin some time ago, like a year ago, and I think he talks about it as well. But I've been reflecting a lot about sort of what does success in terms of art and my creative career actually means to me, or how would I define it? And maybe you can ask yourself the same question, because I think it's something we don't ask ourselves enough, and it can be something not just as an artist or creative, but I think it's the type of question that anybody can ask themselves. Like, what does success mean to me? Like, when actually will I know that I made it, or that I'm living the life of my dreams? Because for me, I often thought about it, and of course you imagine a version of your life that seems very glamorous and surreal, sort of, like in a movie. And then you kind of get closer, or you get sort of the mirror view of that version that you're sort of living right now, and you realize, okay, so it's not going to be exactly like that, but I do have what I wanted. And I think that's also very much the way of the universe or God, that I really believe that you can get whatever you want in this life, but you're just, I think never, or most of the time, you're not gonna get it in the way that you think. It's just not gonna be a straight line, ever. Life is not a straight line, and nothing happens in a straight line, because nothing's perfect, right? But that's also the beauty of life. But you can truly get everything you want. You just really have to believe it. And I know that for some of us as artists, the imposter syndrome is very real. I think it's something that I struggled with a lot a couple of years ago, and then I sort of, did all the things that I did to help myself, like go to therapy, talk to a lot of people, read a lot of books to overcome it, and it got better. But I feel like now in this winter time, it started to creep in on me again, and I often felt like maybe I'm in a spaces that I don't deserve to be, or like, how do I deserve to be here if there are so many other amazing people? And I don't like to be the one that is sort of behind or late, because I grew up as a kid with learning difficulties, and it was very tough for me, to be honest. I always felt like I'm slow and stupid, and even now I'm getting emotional. And I would sort of hold myself back a lot from a lot of things that excited me, that I wanted to do, just because I was so scared that I'm gonna fail, or that I'm gonna be a loser again, because it's so much easier for the other kids to learn, and for me it feels like it takes twice the effort. So I think that's also something that like contributed to my imposter syndrome. But I'm here today to tell you that nobody's perfect. And even though we compare ourselves a lot to other people or look at other people for inspiration, I don't think that's the way to go to succeed. And I think that's why it's so important to ask yourself what a successful life means to you, or how does it feel? How would it feel to live that version of your life, or be that person, that sort of ideal person that you want to be? Because I think we grow up all in a society which is based on one person is the best and then everybody else is sort of underneath them, which is so wrong. It's so wrong because we are all so different. And we are not machines, we are not robots, we are not, businesses. We are not a copy-paste strategy of something that you can improve or, fit the same boxes, and if you don't fit, you're not good. It's such a wrong way of thinking. And that's when I realized that, especially as an artist or creative person, it's not about comparing yourself to other people and, looking sort of outwards for validation or for sort of, comparing ourselves to see who's better, because that's not the point. The point is to look at yourself and ask yourself, what do you like? What do you feel? What do you want? And try to fully embody that and become yourself fully. Because I think, at least for me, that's a success, and it is something I always work on, because I struggled a lot, and I think still do, with something I call people impressing, which is sort of like people pleasing, but it's even more on the scale of like caring what people think of you or how they perceive you in, like, I guess, social settings especially. But it's crippling. It's honestly crippling because, if you look at kids, I also teach in a school, and that's such a good reminder for me, because every time I look at those kids and we do something creative or even just play a game or something, they're so much themselves and they're so much happier and so much more present than us adults that are sort of restricting ourselves, from acting a certain way or expressing something just because we're scared what other people might think. And I'm done with that crap. I understand we have to be respectful and polite and not try to hurt each other. I totally understand that. I think we all have enough empathy to get it, I hope. But we should also have enough empathy for ourselves, to support ourselves, to be who we truly are. And I think that's something I'm still learning, but I want to remind you too that it's nice to consider other people, but don't forget to consider yourself, because you're the first and last person that you'll have in this life. And you decide how do you treat that person that's called you. So don't forget to consider yourself as well. And don't be scared to shine, girl. Please don't be scared to shine, because what's the worst thing that can happen? I think we are more visible to ourselves than we are to other people. I think it's very true. Like, honestly, if you go to an event and you have anxiety and you feel like everybody's staring at you, chances are that at least half of the people in the room feels the same about themselves. So also try to, support yourself and tell yourself that also it's okay to sometimes feel nervous. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that it's wrong if you feel nervous. And I think that's very important to remember on this journey, you know. So don't be scared to shine. Don't be scared to be you, because I think that's the true success. The more you can be yourself, the more successful you are. And we need to see your art for you. We don't need to see another copy of another artist. Yeah, we want to see you and your true art and heart. So please don't be scared to shine and show your real self, because the world is waiting and is ready to support you. Believe that. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look very much forward to see you in the next episode of Artist Mindset. Yes. And please support my channel if you enjoy this podcast or my channel in general. I'm also planning to do like a short movie or video series about an art project that I'm currently working on, about sensory art installation for a festival. So if you're curious about that, give a like, give a comment, or subscribe, or check out my bio if you want to support me in another way. I really appreciate and value all your support. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Artist Mindset. Okay, bye.